Hi, we're Rich and Jackie from Early Retirement Wanderlust.
And it's a Sunday night. It's week 4 of our November reset. Now, regular viewers will know that at the start of November we decided that we needed to sort out our diet and sort out our exercise after a pretty heady few weeks in the US. Sunday night, gotta be honest.
So we're nearly at the end of week 4 of our November reset. If you haven't seen any of the previous vlogs on this, we set out when we first got back from America to try and particularly clean up our diet because we'd got to the point where we were just eating so many empty, easy carbs on the road. Richard set out as well that he was going to have a dry November from alcohol.
And Jackie always said at the start that she was going to have a dry-ish November with a little bit of alcohol. One of the things as early retirees we wanted to try and improve was to do with our exercise and our fitness. We are really active, we do get out in the mountains, we do like our hiking, but we know it's really important to try and work on our strength as well. So part of that is we've incorporated the November 100 a day push-up challenge that's to do with cancer research, and we'll let you know how that's been getting on. And I've been trying to incorporate some bodyweight circuits and a little bit of running in my monthly routine. We also said that Sunday nights was going to be the time that we'd sit down and hold ourselves accountable to you, so that there's just that little bit more accountability for the month of November.
We decided last Sunday, looking at the weather forecast, that it would be a really good week to get away in the van for the first time this winter, which can make it a bit more tricky with diet, but we did carefully sit down and plan a few meals, and actually we had some really nice food when we were in the van.
And I think it was just being prepared. So we went away, we cooked fresh, we ate well, and we really enjoyed the process of cooking. So that was a major plus from our time away.
It was, yeah. And with it being a bit colder this week, I've got back into eating porridge for my breakfast and having some nice fresh fruit or stewed fruit on it. Richard's not a fan of porridge, but I have managed to get him to eat it.
Yeah, I've got to the age of 52 and I had my first bowl of porridge. I love oats and I love cereal bars and I love everything to do with it. I don't know why I can't get my head around porridge, and I should do, because it's really healthy and it's really easy to cook and everything about it is amazing, and yet in the back of my mind I just can't eat it.
I like the fact that if I have a bowl of porridge, I know I'm actually drinking some milk because I know I need more calcium as a lady of a certain age, and it's one way of getting me to have that.
And then also slightly linked with nutrition, we've been making, or Jackie's been making, homemade mince pies this week. And I have to say, her short crust pastry is just amazing. And it's almost too good.
I'm not sure we should be admitting to mince pies because I don't think they're part of the healthy diet. And the short crust pastry is literally a recipe off the internet from the BBC.
But linking nicely with that, we want to talk about moderation and moderating moderation.
Do we?
To do with booze.
We have been really good over November. We have hardly drank at all, and that carried on this week. We went to the lakes. We stayed at a campsite near the old Dungeon Gill pub in the Langdales, which is a really lovely pub. And after our walks, we did go and have one pint, but it was lovely to just have a pint, go back to the van, cook.
Yeah, and I think for me, I've been really good throughout November in terms of keeping dry, whereas I made a conscious decision and a mindful decision to actually have a pint, and I really enjoyed it, and I didn't feel like I needed anything thereafter, because we said it was a bit strange. Previously, when we used to go away in the van and into the mountains, we'd go away with beers and wine, and you know, it would be just like a holiday atmosphere, whereas no, it was just a really good pint in a good pub in a good location, and that was enough.
Yeah, it was, and we enjoyed it.
So one thing about being away in the van, it did make our 100 push-up challenge rather challenging, and Hopefully I've got some footage that I can put over the top of this of me doing push-ups in absolutely ridiculous situations. At one point it was 8 o'clock at night, we'd just finished doing the washing up at the campsite and I was doing push-ups on the washroom floor.
I
But
don't know what's worse. You were also doing push-ups on the ground outside with a tiny little mat at sort of 7 o'clock at night in the dark one night.
But interestingly, as I've said before, that arbitrary target of just doing 100 push-ups is actually a really straightforward target, and it just hooks into my psyche because I just had to do my 100 wherever it was. So yeah, might have looked a bit weird, but it wasn't the easiest thing to do.
As you can probably tell from the way Richard's talking, I opted out of doing the 100 a day because there was no way I was getting on the wet floor outside doing push-ups in the really cold, windy, wet weather.
But since we've been back at home, you have been really good at chipping away. So it's no use just throwing the baby out with the bathwater and thinking, no, I haven't kept that target. It's just each day restarts and crack on again.
One thing we've noticed though, it's the 26th of November now, we've been doing the 100 push-ups a day challenge for quite some time now, and it's easier to do the sets now.
Yeah, we're definitely getting stronger and feeling better on it.
Yeah.
So a simple way of getting fitter. 100 push-ups a day, who'd have thought it?
Yeah.
And then the other thing we've realised is that we don't really need any posh fancy gym equipment. We don't need membership to a gym. We've got the best gym that just surrounds us.
Yeah, we looked at the weather window and we decided it was just too good an opportunity not to get out and about, so we just packed the van up and off we went hiking in the lakes. We did a couple of really nice hikes, getting in some Wainwrights, getting in some more elevation again, which is good for me because I love trying to achieve the target of climbing 4 Everests in a year, and I think I've only got about 3,500 metres to go now before Christmas.
And the great thing about the mountains is that mountain fitness goes like that. So we found it really challenging. You know, we'd been out in the States living at altitudes higher than a mile for like 5 weeks, and yet a few weeks off and we're back into the mountains, and it was still a challenge. So yeah, really enjoyed that. And talking about doing the hard things, on the second day, the weather was just absolutely miserable. And I was desperate to get this final Wainwright done that was so close to the campsite. It was only 1 kilometre up and 1 kilometre back. And we put it off most of the day, and it was getting wetter and darker, and it got to the point where we'd only got an hour of daylight left, and I finally convinced Jackie to come with me.
I'm not so sure he convinced me. I foolishly said, you can go and do it, I'll sit in the van and wait for you, but it doesn't count as a Wainwright. So he pretty much shamed me into doing it, and it chucked it down.
But it was really fulfilling. It only took us an hour to do. We ticked it off. It did us the world of good, and then it meant that we enjoyed a pint in the pub that much better.
That was my bribe.
I've been doing a little bit of listening to podcasts on doing the hard things, and Andrew Huberman talks about brain science, and I'm trying to reassure Jackie that actually that walk did me no good because I really looked forward to it, and I love all of that. Whereas because Jackie hated it and hated the thought of it, actually she'll have built up more willpower during the course of that walk than I did, because in my heart of hearts I just like getting out there and getting wet. So
I didn't hate it, can I just point out, but it chucked it down for the whole hour that we were out on that mountain. And one of my things is that I'm a fair weather walker.
So that's it. We're coming into our last few days of November, looking forward to it. We hopefully are back in a little bit more of a rhythm, and we will see you at the end of November to see how we've done.
Yeah, we're feeling fitter, stronger, and a bit more willpower so far.
See you later.
Bye.